So it starts deep underground, like 1,000 feet down. There's this research team, and they're all super excited because they found this ancient cave system that's been sealed off forever. Big mistake. They go inside, and suddenly they're attacked by these crazy, blind, bat-like creatures. The attack is super fast and brutal, and the whole team is wiped out in like a second. And the worst part, the creatures found their way out. Now they're on the surface. Okay, so then we meet our main character, this girl named Allie. And get this, she's deaf, which is a huge deal later. Some kids pick on her, but she's got this awesome family, and they all use sign language to talk, and they're super happy. So they're all having dinner one night when a news report comes on, and it's a total panic. It's about those bat things. They're swarming across the country, killing everything that moves. And the news anchor's like, the only way to survive is to be completely silent. These things hunt by sound. If they hear you, you're dead. The family totally freaks out, and Allie, being super smart, is like, we live in a noisy city. This is a death trap. She tells them they have to get out and go to the countryside where it's quiet. So they all agree and start packing to leave. Their neighbor, this guy Glenn, decides to tag along, and he brings a gun for protection. They all hop in their cars and hit the road. But on the highway, this desperate guy jumps out in front of them and tries to carjack them. But Glenn doesn't even blink. He just shoots the guy, and they keep going. It was super intense. A little while later, they hit this insane traffic jam. The whole highway is a parking lot. Glenn is like, this is a no-go. We'll never make it. So he just swerves off the road, and they start driving through the countryside. But then a bunch of deer run out in front of his car. He swerves to avoid them and completely crashes. The accident is bad. Glenn is super messed up, and his foot is trapped in the wreckage. Allie's dad tries everything to get him free, but he can't. And then, you guessed it, the creatures show up, drawn by the crash. And to make it a total disaster, the family's pet dog sees them and starts barking like crazy. And since noise is basically a dinner bell for these things, they all turn and start sprinting right towards the sound. So they totally swarm the car. Glenn, being a total hero, starts firing his gun, not to kill them, but to make a ton of noise. He's like, I'll draw them to me so you guys can get away. And it works. The creatures all just turn and rush him. And yeah, they get him. Glenn is totally gone, but he bought the family some time. But then they hear the dog again, barking its head off in the car, so the creatures turn right back around and start attacking the family's car again. Allie's dad realizes the dog is gonna get them all killed, so he does this awful thing and just opens the car door and lets the dog out. He had to save them. Allie is just completely heartbroken watching it happen, but what could they do? There was no other choice. The one good thing they have going for them is the sign language. They can talk to each other without making a single sound, which is a huge advantage. So they get out of the car and start walking. After a while, they spot this house with a big fence around it. But then this old lady comes out and starts waving a shotgun at them, telling them to get lost. Super dumb move. The gunshot brings the creatures instantly. They just swarm her and she's gone in a flash. So, the house is empty now, so they figure it's the perfect place to hide out. There's this big sewer pipe that leads into the house, and the dad's like, this is our way in, it's quiet. But when Allie and her brother are crawling through, there's a poisonous snake right in the middle of the pipe, hissing its head off. They're totally stuck. But get this, one of the creatures hears the snake hissing, zips into the pipe, and kills the snake. Crazy lucky break, right? But just as Allie's mom is crawling through, one of the creatures lunges and bites her leg super bad. Allie's dad has this genius idea. He runs over and flips on a super loud wood chipper machine that was just sitting there. The creatures hear it and immediately run towards the noise. This gives them the perfect distraction to get everyone through the pipe and safely into the house. Once they're inside, they look at the mom's leg and it's awful. The bite is deep and it's already getting infected. She totally needs antibiotics or she's not going to make it. So Allie and her dad decide they have to risk it and go back out to find some. They sneak outside and the world is just dead silent. It's so creepy, not a person in sight. They find an abandoned medical supply store and start quietly looking for the medicine they need.
In the medical supply store, there are dead bodies everywhere. And here's the totally gross part. Allie sees that the creatures are using the bodies as nests. They're laying eggs inside them. That's how they're multiplying so fast. So Allie sees this, and of course she lets out a scream. Big mistake. The creatures hear her and immediately swarm the store. But her dad thinks fast and pulls the fire alarm. The sprinklers go off everywhere, and all the noise and water create enough of a distraction for them to get out of there. But right when they get outside, they run into this super creepy priest-looking dude. He's got this whole silent cult with him, and he tries to get them to join. Allie's dad is like, no way, dude, and you find out the priest has no tongue. It's a whole thing. Anyway, they get back to the house, give her mom the antibiotics, and thank God she starts to feel a little better. Then Allie gets on her laptop and starts messaging her friend, Rob. His story is just as awful. His parents are gone, but he's alive. And he tells her he's heading north to a refuge, a safe zone, where people are living. This gives Allie a brilliant idea. She looks it up and finds out the creatures can't survive an extreme cold. So she's like, that's it. We have to go north. It's our only chance. But the next day, that creepy tongueless priest shows up at their house with his whole silent cult. He's back, and it's super obvious he's really there for Allie. He probably thinks her being deaf makes her special for his weird group or something. Allie's dad grabs a gun and tells them all to get lost, and they do. But later that night, this little girl just appears outside their house all alone. They feel bad for her, so they let her inside. And bam, the second she's in, a bunch of alarms she was carrying start blaring. It was a total setup. She's one of the cult members. The noise brings the creatures down on the house in a huge swarm. It's total chaos. The dad is running around dunking phones in water to shut them up. And in the middle of it all, the cult members grab Allie and try to kidnap her. But then Grandma goes full-on hero mode. She sees them taking Allie, runs after them, and just starts screaming her head off to draw the creatures to her and save Allie. It works, but the creatures get her. It's so sad. The family escapes the house in the chaos and runs right into the priest and the rest of his cult. A huge fight breaks out. They take out a bunch of the cult members, and finally, Allie's dad has this big showdown with the tongueless priest and kills him for good. So after all that, we see the family heading north, and they actually make it. They get to the refuge. It's real, and there are other people there, living safely in the cold. And the final shot of the movie is so cool. It's Allie and her friend Rob out in the snow with bows and arrows hunting the creatures. They've totally adapted and learned how to be silent killers themselves. They're fighting back, and that's how it ends.